Hello, how are you doing? Today I would like to talk about language and communication. The renowned linguist Noam Chomsky argues that in the human brain there's a limited set of rules for organizing language. Furthermore, he maintains that all languages share a common structural basis. This set of rules is known as universal grammar. In addition, Chomsky postulates that there is a language acquisition device, or LAD, in human brain. As a result, according to Chomsky, universal grammar is genetic or genetically hardwired. If you don't mind, I would like to share my 2 cents with you on universal grammar as well as language and communication. First of all, I would like to invite you to imagine an empty seat scenario. So there's a girl sitting at a table having her lunch, and there's an empty seat near her. And then there's another guy who is looking for a seat, and the guy approaches the girl. Can you imagine what's going to be next? The guy and the girl get married and have 2 kids? No, that's going to be in 2 years. But in this empty seat scenario, the communication between the two will go through, regardless of what languages they speak. Whether or not the guy can get a seat next to the girl, they can figure it out. No matter what different languages the interlocutors speak, even if they don't understand a word of the other's language, they can still figure out the intentions of each other. Why? Because the need of getting a seat is clear in this context of situation. In this case, the text is not as important as the context and the cognition, the way of thinking. So it doesn't matter what they say to each other, the meaning will be negotiated in the context of situation. Even if they don't say anything, their body language will do too. Just imagine, about 400 years ago, when the Mayflower pilgrims landed on the Newfoundland, those colonists did not share a common language with the Native Americans, whom they call the Indians. How did they communicate with the Indians? Body language, I guess. For example, like touching the belly means hungry. Probably that was how we had the first interpreter or translator for 2 languages. In my opinion, a language is defined by its pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. 2 dialogues or 2 varieties of a language usually have different pronunciations but similar grammars and vocabularies. For example, Cantonese and Mandarin, American English and British English. In contrast, 2 languages, for example, English and Chinese, have totally different pronunciations, grammars, and vocabularies. If 2 people do not share a common language, how can they communicate? How do they communicate? My hypothesis is that they can communicate through 3 things. 1. Body language, including gestures and facial expressions. 2. Mutual understanding of the needs of each other. And 3. The context of situation. By an extended definition, I will call body language or any symbols For example, like a picture, an object, I will call those texts. And I will include the mutual needs in the cognition of the interlocutors. And I will also include the contexts, such as the context of situation and the social, cultural, and institutional contexts. As I was thinking, perhaps there is an alternative way other than Chomsky's language acquisition device to explain the fact that every human being can pick up their own native language. In my opinion, first language acquisition is just an innate ability of human beings, just like the ability of walking on the 2 feet. So if a person walks with the 4 limbs, that is considered a beast, right? So these 2 abilities, first language acquisition and the ability of walking on the 2 feet, differentiate human beings from other species. Therefore, probably it is not universal grammar and the language acquisition device, but universal needs that constitute the basis of common structure and mutual understanding between 2 interlocutors. And both of these 2 things render the possibility of communication across different languages. Animals and insects do not have languages, but they are able to communicate with their peers thanks to their common needs. For example, the bees perform certain dance to indicate to their peers that the location of the honey they detect. That was just an example. Okay, so I think this is kind of like long and dull, but anyway, I would just like to share with you some thoughts. Thank you very much.